I'm so super attracted to you. You are like adorable.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but any man that I've ever been attracted to, I have never once referred to him as adorable. That word doesn't even come to mind. Hey y'all, it's Nay. Welcome back to my little corner of YouTube. This video will contain spoilers for Love Island USA Season 8, Episode 13. So if you haven't seen it yet and you do not want spoilers, save this video and come back after you do. You are about to hear my thoughts on Episode 13, but of course I want to hear yours, so feel free to drop your thoughts below if you do want to participate in the conversation, and give this video a like and a hype before you go. So obviously, as I was watching them do it, I realized that mailbox game is so damn diabolical. Imagine you pour your heart out to someone and they're reading that out loud for everybody to hear and all of America to hear, and then you get to your mailbox to do the same for the letter that they gave you and they didn't leave you shit. Oh, I'd be sick. We didn't have to imagine it though. It did happen to two different people. Once Ariana explained that, I already knew it was gonna be bad. Or even worse than that. Y'all know we have a literacy crisis in America right now. Imagine the producers come to you and they say, during tonight's recoupling, you're gonna have to read aloud, and you don't know how to read. Embarrassing. Y'all better get in these books. Y'all better get in these books. So I'm convinced that Aniya wanted to piss me off early in this episode. We see her continuing that conversation that she was having with Trinity, and she says, KC is making it sound like I told him he couldn't explore. I never said that. I didn't say that at all. And she's doing that thing that black people do. Well, I'm black, so I know what we do. I don't know if anybody else do it. That's y'all business. But I know black people do it. When you want to put emphasis on something, or like when you're really upset, you start doing a clap. Usually it's like a this clap, but I'm doing this because I got the mic in my hand. She was doing it like this, and she was saying she did not tell him he couldn't explore. Like she was doing that.
I said one time you should not explore. I never said that. I literally never said that.
She was really in her feelings when she said that. But the thing that Aniya doesn't seem to understand, she didn't specifically say that, but she very much is giving him the impression that he can't through her actions. Don't we always say actions speak louder than words? You might be telling him you can explore if you want, but if you're looking at him with daggers while you say it, or you get emotional, you start crying after he does it, then you don't really mean that then. So of course he's gonna think that you don't actually want him to explore. And here's the thing, I don't think that Aniya is doing this on purpose. You know, some people, I don't think this, but some people might view this as gaslighting. You're clearly doing something, but you're telling him that that's not what you did. Some might view that as gaslighting. I don't think that she's doing this on purpose. I genuinely think that she thinks because she's not explicitly saying no, that makes it a yes. But that could muddy the waters in more situations than one, okay? Your body language is telling us no. And so he's moving accordingly. And then she was talking about, oh, I just wish that I could read Casey's mind because I don't understand when we started having all these issues.
I really wish I could go through Casey's brain and figure out where all these issues came from, because I have no freaking idea.
Aniya has a very impressive short-term memory because all of this started when you let Zach get in your head and tell you that KC wasn't exploring enough when y'all were playing that soccer game. That's when all of this started. You definitely remember when. It was you. You started it. What you need to read his mind for? And I know I've been a little hard on Aniya these past couple of videos, and so y'all can let me know if I'm being ridiculous or not. But when KC started reading her letter that she wrote to him, she started off by talking about herself.
My entire life, I feel like I have been in a fairy tale. As corny as it sounds, I feel like a princess, and I've just been waiting for my prince charming.
Girl, this is a love letter. Why are you talking about Aniya in the beginning? Not to mention, I feel like in a lot of these fairy tales, the princes are of a lower caliber than the princesses. I know she didn't mean it like that. One could hear that and be like, what you trying to say? Because when you think about it, I mean, Cinderella might not apply, but Cinderella also wasn't, Cinderella also wasn't broke. She just had an evil stepmother. She had money. Her daddy had money.
And if I was Cinderella, I'd have slapped the fuck out of everybody in that bitch, because what the fuck you mean? This my daddy house, bitch.
But when you look at Little Mermaid, her father ruled the entire ocean, and she ended up with Eric's ass, a mere human with legs. If you look at the Princess Bride, Wes, definitely of a lower caliber than Buttercup, and Pocahontas ended up with a random white man. No shade to the white man out there though. And then we look at Aniya's situation, she comes from money. So you could be like, she the princess, he's the mere worksman. I don't know. He's a nurse, so I guess not. But actually, that is something important, because in Aniya's letter, she does speak on something that I think lets us in on why she is the way she is. She says that she's used to not knowing if people who are around her, namely people who she dates, are just around her because they want something from her. Like basically they want her money, or they want accessibility, or whatever it is. And so I do think that is the reason that she's so, hypersensitive or like hypercritical, because she's just not used to being able to trust people. So that actually does explain a little bit. And in KC's letter to her, he tells her he loves her skin again. Or for those of y'all who thinks he's just doing that just to do it, he put on another performance.
You are truly beautiful, from your dark skin complexion to your smile that brightens up a room.
I don't believe it's a performance. I believe that something happened that we didn't see happen. Maybe production is keeping it off the screen on purpose or whatever the case may be. Something happened. And he's reassuring her on that specific thing because I feel like she voiced something there. That's just what I'm going to say. We don't need to know. I think that's something that can be really, really deep and really, really emotional. I don't need to know what happened, but I do think that something did happen. I'm satisfied right now with them, you know, sticking this through. I do still have my eye on her though, because I think she can be overbearing at times. And Casey doesn't need that. He doesn't need that for his Love Island experience. You know, if she don't tone it down, I might not feel that way next time. So we're gonna put a pin in this couple. Do y'all remember earlier in the season when I said I wanted a bisexual version of Love Island? Well, I think we might be actually getting the pilot during this season, and Zach is leading it. That man always has Bryce on the brain.
You will each write a love letter to the person you want to couple up with.
Can I write to Bryce?
The bromance is real with them. I don't know what kind of game Zach is playing. He's definitely one of the snakes in this villa. We all saw Kata and Zach in the hideaway after they did the do, and we have the night vision camera, and he says, so you really would be upset if I spoke to a bombshell? And she says, yeah, this is not the time to joke about that. And he goes, ha 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 ha. We saw that, right? We all saw that. But then when he's talking to Bryce, he says they're still open, but now there's an expectation and a pressure to close it off because of the fact that they smashed.
Still think we are open, but it's a really weird thing because just I feel like now there's a higher expectation to be more close now that we've been in the hideaway, I think, and that's what scares me.
And I'm really sitting there watching this like, you know that's not what that woman thinks. Y'all did the do. She definitely thinks that y'all are locked in. And I do think this is why initially he kind of didn't want to have sex with her, because he didn't want her to have that expectation. But she really was pushing for it. We saw her in the bed. We saw that she was the one that wanted to. We can all confirm that. But my thing is, you could have said no, and you probably should have said no. If Zach thinks that either a bombshell is going to come in or Casa is going to start and he's going to be able to walk around willy-nilly and explore, he has another thing coming. I'm convinced that Kata's going to make him close this off well before Casa. And if Kata wasn't so worried about getting in his pants, she would have picked up on the signs that he's not trying to close off. He did say it, but then he wrote it back immediately. Whether or not production told him to roll it back or what happened, who knows? But he did roll it back on camera to us. But even before they went in the hideaway, he was saying, I don't really know if we should take it that far. And she was kind of pushing for it, saying, I want to. That should have been her sign right there. But then for some reason, she allowed him to talk her out of it by being like, it was just a hypothetical. Why are you hypothetically thinking about us splitting up? And then he brings it up again in this episode. He's trying to, you know, frame it as a joke like he's been doing. But at what point is she gonna realize that this man is not joking?
I thought I'd explore more, I'll be real. There'd be multiple people I'd be like really wanting to get to know.
Honestly, I agree with that too. I thought so too.
Could still happen.
I know.
This man is serious. More so, I really think that Zach and Kata are positioning themselves to win Love Island. In their letters to each other, they both specifically mention life outside of the villa. And they could really mean it, whatever. But what I think is happening based on some things that happened in the last episode, I think that Zach and Kata are trying to position themselves to win by making it seem like they're so locked in and they're serious. Now, we're going into a couple rating tonight. I hope y'all voted, because by the time I get this up, voting's going to be closed. They're trying to place themselves at the top of that. Especially Zach, he knows Love Island. He knows that there's going to be a couple's vote like that. Okay, so I think they're trying to plant that seed in our heads so that we can position them and they can win this money. But you already know.
You cannot trick me. You cannot trick me.
Let's get into the Kenzie situation. I find it hard to find the words to describe Kenzie. I want to say snake, but that doesn't feel like a strong enough word. Conniving, maybe, is the word I want to use. She's having a conversation with Jen because during breakfast, Corbin brought Melanie, because they were still coupled up, breakfast, but he also brought her a little mini pancake in the shape of a heart. And she's telling Jen about this, and she also tells Jen, yeah, we kissed last night in the room, even though they weren't supposed to be telling anybody. She tells her that, and then Jen goes on to say, yeah, I saw him bring you that little pancake this morning. That's crazy. He did it right in front of Melanie's face. And Kenzie proceeds to say, well, that's what I need him to do.
That's why he made you the heart pancake this morning. He was like,
That's why I was like, I need to
in front of her face too. I'd be like, damn.
I need that shit.
Yeah, I know.
I need that shit.
How bad of a person do you have to be? Even if Melanie is not seriously considering Corbin, even if you know her loyalty lies with Sincere. This is what I was saying in my last video about the fact that she seems to lack basic human decency. Even if you know Melanie is not that serious about him, why would you say that's what I need him to do? As if, to me, it kind of came off as, I need him to keep her in her place. She need to know, you know, where she stands. She might not have meant it like that, but that combined with some of the other stuff that Kenzie been doing is given, okay? It's given. But you know what? Kenzie's moving like Jen is her bestie in this villa, and I love that for her because I don't think Jen is. Kayla Caleb pulls Jen for a cat. Not anything, you know, romantic. He just wants to talk about them being bombshells and how the connection's going. And during that conversation, he's kind of talking about the whole Kenzie thing, and he's like, well, I'm trying to give her some grace because the fact that she didn't choose to recouple, America put us together, so he's giving her grace on that. And then Jen says,
Kenzie and Corbin, I don't think they'll last much longer.
your bestie in the villa said that. Girl, you better tread lightly. I don't think Jen like you for real. Either that or, I don't know, she just trying to one-up you. Something is happening. And I love that for Kenzie, because low-key, one thing about those tables, they turn. We get to Kenzie's mailbox section, and Kenzie actually gets 2 letters, one from Corbin, one from Caleb. Of course, she loves the one from Corbin. That's who she ends up with ultimately. Caleb ends up single. Caleb does write a sweet note, but it doesn't really mean anything because they haven't really had any time together. Corbin writes some decent things, but the thing that really stood out to me about his letter was the fact that he said, you make me feel special and important, or something along the lines of that.
Love that you make me feel important, prioritized, and wanted.
And I think that's the key right there. He likes Kenzie because Kenzie makes him feel important. And while the other girls are like, yeah, he's attractive, none of them are really like trying to go after him for real, for real. So Kenzie is kind of giving him the attention. That's what he likes. She is keeping him safe in this villa. Not safe enough to win, but safe enough to not get booted. You know, I've been seeing people on threads say that Corbin is a bot, and I haven't really seen it. You know, I'm taking notes, so sometimes I look down when it's not something that I really need to pay attention to that's happening. But I caught something tonight.
Corbin, what the hell are you thinking about? Corbin.
He's rebooting. Corbin activate.
He does give bot. He's ChatGPT personified, I fear. Did Elon Musk send him in as a trial? Because it's given. Earlier in the episode, Ian makes a joke about Sincere not remembering Soul's name.
Oh, Sincere had a close call last night. He totally forgot Soul's name, but luckily he managed to play it off.
I love that Sincere calls me like a bunch of little nicknames already.
And I know it's supposed to be a little jokey joke, but I think it might be for real, for real. This is actually something that people do. Men and women do this. When they are dating multiple people and those people don't know about each other and they want to keep names straight, they'll give you pet names. And they'll give everybody the same pet name so that they can never mess on the name. If you call everyone Beloved, then you're never going to accidentally call Soul Melanie. So it might be something to that. I don't remember where I first heard that, but I heard that. It was either in a movie or a TV show. And it is a tactic that people use. Of course, Soul puts her letter in his box. Sincere doesn't write her back. We know she ends up as the other single person. And so by default, we have another default couple. Soul and Caleb end up together. During her speech before she sits down, Soul says,
I thought we had something honestly like really good going. I don't know, it's sad. I guess I was wrong.
And I just really want Soul to understand it's not in her head. This is not a situation where, oh, she got into her feelings too much and she was reading the signals wrong. No, she very much read the signals right. He was telling her all of those things. It's just Sincere. That's just how he moves. I can't wait for his movie night. Sincere and Melanie do write some nice letters to each other, but I don't care. I'm still going to take the opportunity to get rid of them when I can. They said they want to go on a real date outside of the villa, and I'm going to make sure they go there. Straight out of Fiji. Hit that connecting flight and go on that date. Moving on to Trinity and Bryce. You know, when Bryce was reading Trinity's note, I feel like that was the first time this season that I saw that Trinity actually might like him. She seemed excited. She was giddy. She was smiling. And still, I'm just not seeing it. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not translating for me. I know other people see that they have a connection, but I don't see the connection from either side. So I don't know. We gonna see what happened. I did see them kissing in the bed. I think Bryce may have said that they almost smashed.
I mean, we got pretty close last night. I had to stop it. Do you think you'll end up doing it in here? I don't know, bro. I feel like, yeah, maybe.
So maybe it is something there. Maybe it's going to take me a couple of more episodes to see it. We'll see. Last but not least, we have Jen and Gabe. You got to be a special flavor of freaky to smash somebody in a twin-size bed surrounded by 12 other people while it's being filmed. And you know that America's going to see it, but that's not my business. Before I started watching this show, I would have said that nobody would ever do that. But this show proves to me time and time again that y'all really don't give a damn. I do think it was cute that each of them wrote each other something in Portuguese in their letters, especially for Jen, because she wrote to Gabe in his language. So I thought that was real cute. Somebody check on Bea. She's probably not doing too well right now. At the end, when Ariana is heading out after the mailbox game, she gives a little speech about you never know when your time is going to be cut short.
None of us know how long we've got. And for some, that time can be cut way too short. So please cherish every moment.
Of course, it kind of sounds like she's talking about the couples, but if you've been paying attention and if you also saw the end of the episode, then you know that was really for James Baker, the executive producer, who very suddenly and unexpectedly passed away during filming right now. My condolences to his family and of course his Love Island team. He was only 40. That's super young and definitely unexpected. We will continue to watch this Hot Mess Express in your honor, James. Before I get out of here, tomorrow is Wednesday. There's no show show, I'm gonna take that time to respond to some comments. So if you left a comment and I haven't gotten around to it, hold your horses. It's a lot. It's a lot. I try to get to every single comment that I get on videos that I post, but obviously that's a little harder during Love Island because I'm watching and recording every single day except Wednesday. And it's just a lot of comments to get through, but I promise I see y'all. Even if I don't actually respond, just know I see y'all. I'm taking in all the information. And I also want to say, beginning this Friday, there will be no recorded video from me on Fridays. Me, C, and Sean are finally starting up our Love Island live stream. So from this Friday through the remainder of the season, we're going to be going live on Fridays to discuss the entire week and, of course, that day's episode. So that's going to be 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Pacific on Fridays for the remainder of the season. I'm so sorry, East Coasters. I know it's a little bit late for y'all, but it is a Friday night. So, you know, pop in if you can live. That's always super fun. We love to have y'all there. We love to chit chat with y'all. And if you can't, watch it back. And we love that as well. Our live streams are always a vibe. This is going to be, I think I may have been on a live stream with Sean one other time, but this is going to be like our first official. We're talking about all these things that are happening. So I'm excited. I hope I get to see some of you there. I'm going to have a reminder for the live stream going up on the community tab. So make sure you hit that notify button so that you can get notified when we go live. And that's it. For those of you who want to know what the editing meal of the night is, it's Marry Me chicken and white rice, white jasmine rice. One of my go-to quick meals. It's basically chicken with heavy cream and like sun-dried tomatoes basically and Parmesan cheese. That's what I made tonight. I'll get this up eventually tonight. Until then, I'll see y'all on Thursday. Bye. This took a stretch, guy. My rabbits were like, turn this light off. It's late. It's late. I'm recording this late. You want to know why? Because I recorded it once, and when I took my SanDisk card out of my camera and put it into my computer, it was empty. As if I never hit record, even though I swear I did. I digress. But anyway, so yeah, I'm trying to get this done because my buns don't like all this bright light this late. Good thing I always keep that thing on me with that extra battery pack. Of course, we also have, I was about to call them Trice. I got a river running right into you. Ian makes a joke about Soul not remembering, no, 12? No. Lord, we on 13. What are you doing, Bubba? Well, that was a big jump.